Hi, my name is Rick and I'm from Ukraine. The video you're about to see is a conversation with a Russian soldier in Ukrainian captivity made by Ukrainian journalists Volodymyr Zolkin and Dmytro Karpenko. I wish to make this content available to more people around the world. This is why I'm dubbing it into English. It's not much, but it's honest work. All rights belong to Zolkin, Karpenko and their team. Please enjoy.
Are you going to go home? I'll try if the number. Let me rephrase. Are we going to talk? Yes. If you don't want to talk, I can just go home. The number? Yeah, let's contact her. +7. I'm not sure if it's correct. Where to? To the young soldier course when I first started my mandatory service. Wow, you're a tough guy. Does she know you're a captive? No, she knows that I'm on the territory of Ukraine. Let's record the voice message. Mom, it's me. Please pick up the phone. We'll be calling within half an hour or something like that. Mom, it's me, your son. If you're available, please pick up the phone. I'll be calling. There, I sent it. Well, let's wait while I smoke. Why did you go to war? Why did you go to fight? I was on a contract, got enlisted. They sent me and there was no way to refuse, except go into jail. Maybe you should have gone to jail. I don't know, not everyone fights there. They perform various tasks. Some are involved in logistics, and that's what I was doing for the first weeks. I took care of things around the house, chopped firewood, cooked meals. The guys would go out on missions and come back. I was considered a regular serviceman. A career soldier. Yes, I lived with them, with other career military. There were about 10 of them. And were they conscripts? No, they were all career soldiers, like me. I was brought directly to them. Then they brought us to Rostov by plane. We were boarded onto the Ural and spent about 8 hours. You'll tell me this later. You brought up so much so fast I couldn't understand anything. So that's what I was doing. And there weren't many career soldiers left in Russia, in the brigade where I served. How come? Did they run out? Well, maybe about 5% of the brigade remained as active duty personnel. Where are the others? That's it, they're destroyed. They're recruiting 200 people. Why were they destroyed? No, they were sent and eliminated. They're recruiting 200 people, those are conscripts or volunteers, they send them off. Once they've gathered a group, they're getting destroyed, they're recruiting again, bringing them in like ammo. And how often do they recruit? Every month. Because there's a shortage of career soldiers, conscripts are assigned as duty officers in the company and handle such matters. So there should be at least a sergeant as a duty officer in the company, but we have a conscript instead. This is good. Or is it bad? Well, it's chaotic. It's chaos, meaning there's no one monitoring anyone. There's no control over the personnel. So there's a battalion, and in that battalion there's only one officer or battalion commander. The rest simply aren't there. But this is good, right? I think it was bad. Why is it bad? Because there are no people in the brigade. Well, there are people in the brigade, but they're in the headquarters, and these conscripts are there and in the medical platoon, nowhere else. Well, that means our victory is closer. Well, I agree. Yes, I agree, we're not winning this war. You're not winning? No. Why? It's elementary. Everyone watches the news. I did too while I was in Russia. I glanced at it. I understood that we're not winning and that all the reports we have are not accurate. These reports are aimed at reassuring people. Everything is fine, we're winning the war, everything is okay, don't panic. I will call a regular number because she's not picking up. So you're not winning. What about the equipment? Equipment? I've only seen BMPs, a few tanks, and that's it. All the bahas are completely dismantled, they can barely move. While they were transporting us to the forest strip where we started, the tracks came off twice. The tracks literally fell off. Great. Yes. For you, maybe, it's just added stress for us. We were already going to our deaths, so to speak, and then it came off. We hadn't even arrived yet, and there were already problems. Well, what can we do? Hello? Hello, Mom. Hello, good day. Please go to WhatsApp. Ready? Yes? For what? For a conversation, a talk. A talk? Can you please speak louder? I'll turn your volume up. I'll speak louder. Like this. Good day. Good day. You said you're gonna speak louder. May I address you informally? Good day, yes, you can. Are you afraid? No, I'm just worried. Why? Paratroopers shouldn't worry. I'm not a paratrooper. Are you a special forces soldier? Just an infantryman, just a regular infantry. Today we have special forces infantry with us. How are you doing? Everything is fine as long as we're here. Are there any other options? No? And where is it not fine? When you're at war? Yes, only if there. It seems that it is worse in the army than in captivity. In the army, yes, there's not much difference. The only thing is that in the army, if you're a contract soldier, you can leave the barracks and go for a walk to the town, but not in captivity. So in captivity, it's like being in the army but not being allowed outside. It turns out so. It turns out so. You might as well say they feed you in captivity. They even feed you here, yes. They even feed you here. The food is not much different from army rations. It's exactly the same. Is there a TV? Where? In captivity. No? What do you mean? Is there a TV in captivity? Yes, there is. Why did you initially say no? I don't know, it seemed like the answer would be more correct. What? That it would be more correct. Very interesting. What does more correct mean? Why are you lying? I think it shouldn't be allowed to watch TV in captivity. I was surprised when I arrived. Why shouldn't it be here? I don't know, I had a different perception of captivity. I thought captivity was the same place, just without a TV. But there's a TV here. Yes, I was surprised. It's surprising. What size is the TV? A big one. Can't you hug it? You can't hug it. It's just like that. That's not huggable. Well, you can't exactly hug it. You can't hold it. Can you introduce yourself? Private Petrov Pavel Alexandrovich, born in 2002 on March 21st. I'm in service at military unit 21005, 74th Brigade. I arrived in the territory of Ukraine on January 16th. I was captured on January 26th. That's it? That's all. How old are you exactly? 20. 20? Yes. 20. Do you consent to the recording and publishing of this conversation? Yes, why not? I don't know, some people say no and go on to their important matters. Please go ahead. If you need to record and publish, go ahead, right? Yes. You don't care at all, right? It turns out so, and what other options do I have? I don't really care. You always have a choice. You can say no and go on with your important matters, and I'll go home. No, go ahead and publish it after all. Publish it? But why? Why not? Ah, I see. You want to become a blogger? No. Why? Not interested. And what are you interested in? Some kind of programming, working with computers, but not blogging. So you're like a hacker? No, not at all. I just want to pursue that. Why programming? Well, maybe 3D modeling, programming, but not blogging. Do you have a clear understanding already? I have some general ideas. When did you... Are you a conscript? No, I am a contract soldier. Contract soldier. When did you sign the contract? Last year, in April or May. I think it was May. In May? Please speak a bit louder. In May, did you know that the war was already going? Yes. Why did you sign the contract? Were you a conscript soldier? Yes, I signed the contract after serving 5 or 6 months as a conscript soldier. Why did you sign it? I wanted to serve in Russia. I didn't want war. I managed to evade being sent to war for a year. You gassed for a whole year? In this brigade, it was possible to do it, so I gassed. How? Please tell me. I know the term gassing, many people have talked about it. It may sound surprising, unusual, but there's a chaos in our army. When the war started, everyone was solely focused on finding people and sending them here. There is no one to monitor us due to the lack of personnel. Company commander, for example, is occupied with paperwork. He doesn't even know the people under his command. So 2 weeks after I signed the contract, I went home because no one needed me for 2 weeks and no one even called me. Stop. Once again, this is a very interesting story. In May you signed... Finally, my dear, she's happy. You see it. Stop peeking. I can see it. I have a military secret there. Did you take any military secrets with you? I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't sign anything like that. But you're in the military, yes? You were supposed to be given a military secret. They didn't give me any. They gave it to everyone but not you? No, I didn't receive any. They also say that if you lose a military secret, they'll give you another one. No, nothing like that. It didn't happen. You signed the contract in May, spent 2 weeks in the unit, and no one bothered you, so you went home? Yes, I didn't leave immediately though. I decided to observe for 2 weeks to see if anyone would need me. So I attended morning formations for 2 weeks, which were attended by whoever wanted to, and those who didn't want to could skip. I could have also skipped, and nobody would have cared. So you got lost, and until they found you, you could go about your business and not show up at the unit. That's how it happened to me. I lived at home for some time, then returned to the town. How long did you live at home? Until September, until August, and then I returned. How until September? Yes, that's right. May, June, July, August. Yes? 4 months. Yes, after that I came to Yurga. I still didn't go to the unit. I lived in the rented apartment. Because at any time they could call me and say, "You're on the list. You need to report for boarding the plane." That's actually how it happened. How long did you live in that apartment? Until January. May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January. You were guessing for 9 months. Yes. Were you still getting paid? Yes. Regularly? Yes. That's why I signed the contract. Before that, I saw how it all happened, but not to the full extent. Before that, I could only stay in the barracks and I didn't risk going out into the city and behaving riotous. After signing the contract, I started behaving riotous and saw how it all unfolded. How much was your salary? 30,000. How much? 30,000 rubles. 30,000. So you received a total of 270,000 rubles for those 9 months, right? Well, yeah, not bad at all. Considering that the rent for the apartment was 12k, it's actually fine. I only paid 12k for the apartment, that's it. Are you cold? No, I'm just worried. If you're cold, I can ask them to bring something. You came here in a t-shirt like it's a July. I'm not cold. Okay, but if you're cold, I'll ask them to bring some clothes. A fur coat. So this army is cool. Which military unit were you in? 21005, 74th Brigade. Commander, you're the best. Does that mean that you can add 50 people to your staff like this? Well, yes, but it also depends on the commander. When commander changed to the one who needed me, he started looking for me and asking in the headquarters who I was. Why have I never seen him before? Is that how they found you? Yes. How did it happen? Did they call you? Yes. And what did they say? They immediately told me over the phone, "You're expected on board, we need you, come." So you came and then? Well, that's it, all good. Why did they call? Well, because they needed me. They signed me on board of a plane. They put me on board of a plane because I'm a contract soldier, which means I know how to do everything. So he put me there right away. But you don't have any skills. No, I only held an assault rifle in my hands, that's it. I haven't even thrown a grenade once, neither a training one nor a real one. And when did you last hold an assault rifle? The last time was on January 25th. Okay. Great. And until that moment, there hadn't been any training at all. I was guessing all these months. We only fired 15 rounds during basic military training, and we didn't even shoot during the oath. During basic training, we had a field trip, where they brought us for exercises, gave us 15 rounds to shoot, and that was it. Is your military unit empty? Absolutely. Only conscripts and no one else. Those who have been persuaded to sign a contract. Well, no, they didn't force me to sign a contract. Maybe they are forcing people now, but it didn't happen to me. They can just live. For example, one serviceman went to live in the town of Yurga, which is not far from the unit. He rented an apartment, bought a car, and lived there while still being listed as a serviceman. They started looking for him only when there was a check. Who is he? Why isn't he here? When command says company line up, everyone should rush into formation, but only after the 50th attempt of company line-up do they actually come out. Even then, around 15 people will continue lying on their beds, and you'll have to force them up. Such behavior is already normal for them. It's not a real army anymore. Well, for them, it's an army, but in reality, it's not an army. So those dudes keep lying down. Command is given, but they don't give a damn? Yes, because the order is given by another conscript soldier, because the duty officer in the company is a conscript too. After basic training, I served in the railway troops, and everything there was according to regulations. Everything was as it should be in the army. If an order was given, you would go out and line up. Everyone would wait until the last guy, and everyone would be counted. If someone didn't come out, everyone would be doing push-ups and sit-ups until the one who didn't come out was found. And then everyone who squatted would take revenge on the one who didn't come out. They all understood each other. It could have been any of them, but of course they weren't happy about it. Well, you arrived in Ukraine. Yes. You're a trained VDV soldier? No, I'm in a motorized rifle unit. Ah, you're a rifleman. Yes. So you arrived and said, so what do we do? Where are we going to kill those ukrops, right? That didn't happen. They said, get on board, and we boarded at 4 a.m. They drove us through several villages, I don't know their names, only where we left from. They kept driving us through 33 forest stations. In the end we arrived, disembarked, and walked another 5 kilometers on foot. How many of you were brought there? 10, just 10. The group leader and 9 of us. Who was the group leader? Oh, not just the group leader, the leader of our group and the company commander. The company commander went in a different direction. He wasn't with us. He went to another place to command us. An officer? Yes. Who? Senior lieutenant. So he looked at it and thought, I better go command from a different place? As far as I understand, all commanders are like this. He's a contract soldier. When did it happen? We arrived on January 24th. January 24th? Yes. So you arrived into a forest station. Yes, the group leader was given the task to advance 1 kilometer in one direction. The task was as follows: if you spot the enemy, you need to retreat. The group leader reports to the company commander, who reports to the battalion commander. The battalion commander gives orders to the artillery, and that's how it was supposed to work. That was our task. So, they tell the 10 of you, the 9 of you. Yes. You go forward for a kilometer. Yes. If you spot the enemy, you retreat. Yes, there should be no contact. But the group leader decided that contact was needed. For me it was the first time, and it was scary. Bullets were flying, blядь. I fell to the ground and crawled back. There was no time to shoot and aim, and they were lying there like Rambo, aiming. They were saying later, we aimed at them. By that time I was already behind the very last one, lying down. And did they exchange fire? Yes, there were exchanges of fire. The forestation was small, 12 meters wide. 4 people were lying in front, and everyone else was watching the flanks. There couldn't have been more people there because they probably would have died to the intensity of fire.
What happened next? How many such advances did you make?
There was only one. We spotted the enemy. That was our first battle. We reported it and we were told to dig trenches. We started digging trenches. Then they said they're gonna start working now. After that, your and our artillery and mortars started working. All of that were hidden, that forestation.
Everything was hidden you, right?
Yes, it turned out so. Well, they work against your troops, and because we are nearby, they are also hitting us. And we haven't even dug trenches yet because we had nothing to dig with.
What do you mean you had nothing to dig with?
Only helmets. I mean, we didn't have shovels or anything.
Was this the first day you arrived?
Yes.
Did your war last for one day?
Yes.
We'll get to that, wait.
2 days. 2 days.
2 days.
At night, after 2 days, when the evacuation was supposed to happen in 5 hours, I got captured.
Okay, tell me. Our artillery's firing, your artillery's firing, you're shocked and trying to bed those mines with your hands.
Yeah.
You told me that you had Rambo there with you.
Yeah.
Stands there and ra-ta-ta-ta-ta. Were there 200s and 300s?
We didn't have any. Nothing was hidden our forestation. They missed every shot.
It's bad. Bad. Your guys shoot poorly.
I'll say it's good because there are cases when our own were hitting us. Well, not directly my group, but still they hit our troops.
So, what was happening? You stayed in forestation?
So we're sitting in the forestation, they tell us to dig trenches, we dig, and keep sitting there.
With your helmets?
No, I didn't dig. I just lay behind a huge tree because I understood that it was pointless. The soil was frozen and there were also roots, and digging with your nails is useless.
And what about the others?
They were laying the same way. Then another brigade came, the 55th. They had a few shovels. They started digging trenches. They dug a few for themselves, and we kept laying as we were. And there only 6 of them came to us. And after...
They came to help you?
Well, yeah, kind of reinforcement.
Why kind of?
Well, only 6 people.
How many were needed?
I have no idea. I don't know the norms, how many are needed, where they are needed.
Well, okay, in the end, they dug trenches for themselves and you just lay there, chilling.
Yes.
Smoking?
Yeah, smoking, resting, so to say.
So, the night fell. What happened at night?
Nothing happened at night. Just 4 people got frostbite. Actually, all of us got it.
Nothing happened, just everyone got frostbite.
Yes, we didn't have sleeping bags. We had nothing. They told us before we started walking that kilometer to throw away our stuff because we wouldn't need it there. They thought we would be simply killed there and we won't need those things.
So that company commander told you to go there light?
Yes.
You thought you would be buried there, so you left your stuff for others, right?
Well, how else? It's obvious if they send us first. It was not even the front line yet. We were the first Russians to go there. There were only your guys further. If there's a fight, then you'll become either 200 or 300. That's it.
Or taken captive.
Or captivity, it turns out. But
Did they tell you anything about captivity?
No, nothing at all.
No, alright. So, the night has passed. You're frostbit and shocked. You ate some shashlik?
We hadn't eaten anything. I hadn't eaten anything for 3 days.
Why didn't you bring food?
They said we wouldn't need it, that we don't need food, just like the things we threw away. So when 55th Brigade came...
So Rambo doesn't need to eat.
It turns out they thought that's how it was. Those 5 brought something to eat with them, but I couldn't eat. It just didn't work out. I didn't want to.
What day of the week was it? Do you remember?
No.
So roughly, let's say, to get attached, they brought you on Urals on Monday and immediately sent you to attack?
No, on Monday they brought us on Urals, and only the next Monday did they send us to attack.
So you were hanging around there for a week?
I was hanging around. They went there on Tuesday for the first time without me, and they took me with them for the second time.
And you were gassing?
No, they just told me to stay, that I didn't need to go. They took me with them the second time.
Ah, this is what you told me before, that you were chopping wood and stuff.
Yes, I've spent the whole week doing that while they were there.
You're probably the youngest, right?
Yes.
That's why they left you.
Well, yeah, and a few more people. 1 was old and 2 were limping. I worked with them. I was young, one was old, two were limping. Did they bring you all together?
No, they were already there in that house. They just added me to them because they were contract soldiers like me.
Good army. I can't agree. So the second, and those who went for the first time, they didn't come back, right?
Most of them didn't, because the rest simply refused. They dropped their weapons, said we won't go there, and went back on foot. And then the platoon commander wrote reports about them, complaints that they refused, and so on.
And you went on the second week.
Yes, the first time there were a lot of them, about 50 people, about 20 of them refused.
So 50 went in the first week.
Yes.
20 of them refused.
Yes, about 15 or 10 people died. The remaining 15 or 10 people were wounded. And about 5 people who were regular contract soldiers returned together with the platoon commander.
What did they tell you?
That there is everything as it should be. Mortars, shells, tanks, grenades, everything was working at them. They couldn't move or crawl anywhere.
But the order comes that you have to go for the second time.
Well, yeah.
They gathered 10 people. Why so few?
Because everyone else refused. No one else wanted.
How many more people were there?
After these 50, I don't know, there were different units. They brought about 150 people from different units. For example, 50 infantrymen, 30 artillerymen, various rocket troops, artillerymen, mortar troops, those kinds of units. I was just in the infantry. There were only about 5 of us. No, there were a total of 50 people in the infantry. Well, they brought us, and those 50 were sent, but they left me. Then I went the next time. They picked us up, the 10 people who stayed. Because those 20 who refused, they had already seen everything. They were scared, afraid. They said they wouldn't go, and they didn't go. They sent them to dig trenches. They didn't send them back to Russia. I don't know what happened to them. I just haven't witnessed that moment.
I see. And you... Did they need more people, or did they need 10 exactly?
I don't know. Actually, as I've heard how it all happened, they asked who's ready, and only 10 people said they were ready.
You said I'm ready too?
They would have taken me in the morning anyway, because I was the contract soldier in that house. I was like, but it turns out I'm ready. So I had to go. The platoon commander himself told me that I had to. Well, blять, if I had to, then let's go. Well, there were only 10 of us, and they sent us. That's it.
Got it. So you arrived, you immediately got under fire. You spent the night, got frostbite. What happened the next day?
On the next day, no one wanted to move forward anymore, because when you're there, it becomes clear. It's your position, your defense. We started reasoning there, that it's easier for your side, you have everything there, you are hidden, more precise, both with mortars and everything else, that we can't really approach you, you've already put up defenses there, and there are only 10 of us. What could we do? We only had rifles, some of us maybe had grenades, but we didn't throw them, because there were branches there. You throw a grenade, but it bounces back at you from a branch. And walking along the forestations, we went. When we were captured, we went along this forestation.
You'll get to it. Those reasonings first.
In short, there were those reasons.
There were 16 of you there, right?
Those 6 people who stayed, they must 100% never go forward. They just sit there entrenched. That's it, because we always end up as the assault group, we always move forward.
You're like some kind of Wagner.
Well, it turns out so, but we have a privilege. If we get wounded, they send us for treatment to Russia. But in Wagner, as I understand, if you're wounded, they just bandage you up. If you can keep going, they send you forward.
Well, they sort of prepare you there too, but essentially yes. If you can keep going... So you sit there and think, what do we do? It's only 10 of us.
Well, yes, the commander calls the company commander on the radio, and your guys are listening our walkie-talkie. We have the primitive POW fangs, not the big, good ones as we should have. He asked him what to do next. He told us to keep going forward. I don't know if your guys heard it themselves. Maybe someone transferred it to them, to Ukrainian unit who was next to us there. They already understood that there should be an encounter soon, and they were just ready and waiting for us. I'm saying, I'm already frostbitten, I can't walk anymore. He said, we have to keep going. And I'm like, okay, let's go. So everyone who gathered there...
Did he beg you to go? This commander, the one in charge of the group, not the company, but specifically the group, he said, "All right, we'll go just once. As soon as we'll meet the enemy there, we'll leave." And we're like, "Okay, fine." So we walked, met the first tripwire. "All right, we've spotted them, let's retreat." We reached the first tripwire, about 20 meters into the forest. There was this big arch standing there. The sappers cleared that tripwire. Then there were two more tripwires ahead. They cleared those two as well. And in that forestation there were big, thick bushes that couldn't be climbed over or passed through. And somewhere in the middle of those bushes, there's an arch standing. And into this arch, well, it was clear that they were luring us. "Come closer and we'll meet you." And the group commander says, "I got it, they're behind this arch." Somehow he managed to look through a thermal imager above this arch and saw that one of your guys was standing there. "Did you have a thermal scope?" "Yes, we did." So he looks through the thermal scope and says, "He's looking at me too." And the Ukrainian soldier was just waiting for us to pass through. As far as I understood, or he told me, I don't remember, that it was a machine gunner and it was a fortified position, which there was a fan-shaped arrangement that covered the road we were walking. And the forestation we had to pass through this arch in. In other words, if he started shooting in a fan shape, he would hit everyone, those in the forestation and those walking next to it. That was it. Our commander said that we wouldn't go any further and we went back. When we came back, we reported to the company commander that we won't go further. The company commander said, "Try to crawl forward bit by bit." Our commander said, "No, we won't crawl. There's nowhere left to crawl. If we had gone in, they would have taken us all down one by one with a machine gun burst." He refused and we didn't go anywhere. We spent the whole day under fire. Our tank fired at us 8 times. Your tank? Yes. Why the hell did your tank shoot at you? It was shooting at that forestation. We were lucky because everything was landing in the field, missing us. A crappy tank. Agreed. How could they miss you? They could have hit you and, well, you wouldn't be here for the interview, but, well, it turns out so. In general, everything missed, everything was working, and the drones were constantly flying. What about yours? We had only one. Once they reported that it was our drone. The rest of the time we lay still and didn't move. Because your drones with thermal imagers and cameras were also dropping Vox and different grenades. We decided to stay quiet and still so as not to provoke your drones. If we needed to communicate, we spoke into the ground. Group commander informed the platoon commander that we won't proceed any further. The platoon commander got angry and started cursing, but eventually said, "Wait for evacuation at 5 a.m. So we spent the whole day lying there under shelling. As it started getting dark, 2 soldiers who had frostbite on their feet said, "We're freezing and don't want to stay here." I and another soldier were told to escort them for evacuation. We were supposed to meet someone who would provide us with water, food, and guide us to the evacuation point. So we went. We walked about 3-4 kilometers to the evacuation point. And we also had to go the same distance back. We left those 3 guys for evacuation, took 2 rations and a bottle of water each, and headed back to our positions. So you've escorted them? Yes. Our guide came to meet us from a different position, not the evacuation point. On the way back, we reached his position, lay in the trench, and waited for the shelling to stop. Then we got up and continued. We knew we're on the right path, thanks to some landmarks. For example, 2 dead bodies, or specific bushes. How long had the bodies been there for? For a very long time. I mean, really, really long. Why weren't they removed? I don't know, we discussed that too. If everyone who passed by pulled them 2 meters every time, they could have reached Moscow eventually. That's true, so why weren't they removed? No one reported to me. I have no idea. It's a question that puzzles me as well. You're not the first one to tell about this. Okay, I got it. Yes. Anyway, we waited out the shelling and then we headed in the right direction. On the way, there were two 200s, fallen bushes, used muha, which served as our landmarks to find the right way. Eventually, we passed these landmarks, also a huge crater from a shell, another landmark, and reached three power line towers where the Ukrainian positions were. About 500 meters in our direction from those towers were your positions too. We should have realized that we shouldn't cross those 500 meters because your positions were there. And in the end, we passed by our positions. The person who was supposed to meet us informed our commander that we're coming and needed to be met. But they didn't meet us, because they simply, fell asleep. They fell asleep. In the darkness, we couldn't figure out where to turn into deforestation and ended up passing by them. We passed three of your positions without being noticed, but at the fourth one they stopped us. From the bushes, someone shouted, "Halt! Who is it? I'll shoot." Nice. Yes, it was very loud. He said it very loudly. The person walking in front of me was moving fast. Perhaps your soldier thought he was one of their own. But we were on the right side, while your soldiers walk on the left, that's it. Your soldier probably thought it might be someone of their own. He said, "Halt, who is that?" We introduced, and then we heard him chambering around. And I realized it wasn't one of ours. And we collectively made the right decision to surrender, because we couldn't move any further. Our hands were already up because he had seen us, and we saw him and his position. It was only 1 meter between us. You had to surrender, right? Well, because there was no way to survive. And how is it in captivity? Well, it's amazing. I'm alive, nobody tortures or beaten me, I've been fed, they take me to the toilet, everything's great. But there, you couldn't even go to the toilet when you're in deforestation. I'm in captivity, everything's great. Well, yeah. Are you gonna advertise the Ukrainian captivity? No, I won't. But I'll say that there are people here, not the beasts, as they tell us. So, subscribe, share the videos, give it a thumbs up. Tell them, subscribe and give it a thumbs up. So sharing the video isn't necessary? And share the video about the wonderful Ukrainian captivity. I'm calling your mom. I don't even know what else to ask you about Ukrainian captivity. Look what picture I have there.
Hello.
Hello.
Good evening. Good evening.
How are you doing?
We're doing fine. Who is this?
I'm Dmitry, a journalist from Ukraine.
What?
I'm Dmitry, a journalist from Ukraine.
I understood.
Your son is in a wonderful Ukrainian captivity. These are his words. Did you know about this?
No, I didn't know yet, but now I do.
Oh, now she knows. Well, if you want to, why are you crying? If you want to talk to him, you must give consent for recording and publishing of this conversation.
Alright, I consent.
Why are you... Don't worry, we'll talk more. I won't hold the phone. Hey mom, you don't say where you are. You're in captivity, but you don't say where. I understand. I'm in captivity, we're not being beaten or tortured, we're being fed, everything is fine.
How long have you been there?
A month, since January 26.
My sunshine. What do we need to do to get you out?
I have no idea how other people are dealing with that.
Which people?
I don't know. She needs to...
Son, I'll do everything to get you out.
She needs to take this video and go to the draft board, to the military unit, and show that you're alive, that you're in captivity. Take him out. Did you hear? Repeat it. Mom.
How am I supposed to get that video? How?
Not the video itself, but when it will be published. YouTube channel Vladimir Zolkin. Write down the YouTube channel where the video will be released.
One moment, son. What channel?
Vladimir Zolkin. Is that right? Yes.
Zolkin. When will it be released?
In a couple of days, but you can do it tomorrow. In a couple of days, but you can check every day. No, she should go to the draft board tomorrow and say that her son called.
Okay, sunshine.
Listen to me carefully now, Mom. Check that channel more often. Not when the video is released, but tomorrow go to the draft board and tell them I'm in captivity, that I need help, like this.
Alright.
And also to the military unit and brigade.
Alright.
Dad must know where to go and you'll figure it out from there.
Dad is here.
Hello. That's it. This channel, Vladimir Zolkin, you can observe it more often starting tomorrow. I'll be on it soon. They'll publish me soon. You'll be on it.
Alright, son. Alright. Please, just hang in there, son. I'm begging you.
Well, you also hang on. Everything will be fine.
My little one.
Everything is fine. They're not mistreating me. Everything is good here. So what they say about it's bad here in captivity is not true. Well, it's wonderful here, I must say, yes. They even have a TV here. Can you imagine?
Understood, my sunshine. Everything is good.
Were you already sleeping?
No, we weren't sleeping. I haven't been sleeping at all. For a long time, son.
Well, now you know. You know what to do.
Yeah, we know everything.
Alright, tell me what needs to be done, because tomorrow you might wake up and forget.
Your father is standing right here. How can we forget? What are you talking about?
Alright, then we understand each other.
Yes. We love you, son.
I love you too.
Everyone is waiting for you. The girls miss you a lot.
I miss you too. I hope we'll meet soon.
All right, I'll wait then.
Why are you crying? Why are you crying?
Because I can't get myself together.
And so that you wouldn't have had to get yourself together, you shouldn't have sent your son to our country to kill other people. Then we wouldn't be having this conversation. Why? Why did you send him?
What?
Why did you send him to kill?
We didn't send him.
What is he doing here?
Ask him.
What are you doing here? He's a contract soldier.
He was sent. He went. What could he do?
What do you call people who do things they don't want to do? Free? Free? What they want. Did you want to come here? No. You didn't want to come here. What do you call people who do things they don't want to do? Slaves? Look, this is your son. He's very smart. You said the word yourself. That's the right word. That's the correct word. I understand everything. You are slaves, and you have a king who decided that they should go and die. We've already buried 150,000 people like him here. Watch the news, just not your own, where you have victory every day. Tell her about the war, about what you've seen, how the bodies lie, how they don't retrieve them. Everything you see on TV about the war is untrue. I told you this when I was still in Russia, not to watch it, not to watch Russian channels specifically. Because it's all propaganda that comforts you. Watch specifically Ukrainian news in the internet. There are Ukrainian news channels in Russia as well. You can watch them every day. There's a whole channel that we watch here. And there they cover what is covered for Ukrainian people. That's how it is. I mean exactly the truth. They don't hide from their people that they have also lost many soldiers, also many sons have died. That's how it is, for defending their land.
I understood.
So our television is just a lie that tries to calm you. What was your name again? Vladimir? Is your name Dmitry? My name is Dmitry. Well, Dmitry told the truth that there are many bodies lying on the fields that haven't been collected. Many of bodies of ours and many Ukrainian ones too. We just don't let each other collect them and at least take the dead home to be buried. Understand?
Get me my pills.
All right. Well, essentially, he told it like it is. He's in captivity, you are slaves, you have a Tsar. As long as your Tsar rules over you, they will keep dying. Both young 20 years old and 50 years old and convicts. All convicts are dying completely, all of them. None of them return until they die. Tell her, they don't know the whole truth there. About convicts, the truth is that until they die, they don't return. It's true that they need to serve 6 months for their sentence to be reset and they can go free. But it's untrue that they have the same provisions as us, in the sense that they don't receive medical treatment. So they are sent, they are told go storm, and they keep storming until their entire group will be destroyed. They can't even retreat. They are being shut down for that.
What a nightmare.
And the fact that there are even retired people in our army is also true. I was with one in the same house where I lived. He doesn't fight, well, he simply can't. He serves, but he can't fight. Even the commanders don't send him into the fight because they understand that he will be useless, that he will be a burden to them. But they still come here and being used somehow. They just assign them to some kind of support role. For example, in a house, or if you can drive a Kamaz, you'll drive people, deliver supplies, some kind of provision, in a convoy somewhere, transport water or fuel, like that. But mostly they are all in houses and they don't participate in battles. But when the order comes, they also go to battle and they simply lie down and die because essentially he can't go on. I'll have to drag him. If he's wounded, it's understandable, but when he's healthy and he lies down and needs to be dragged too, but he needs to be dragged back because he can't go forward. He's just scared, he's afraid. He just fell down and he's not needed there. That's why they leave them on the fourth line of defense, where it's safe. Like that. And there are people of all ages here, from 18 to 65. I've seen a maximum of 65 years old. So, what's up? That's all.
Well,
Well, I won't ask anything else because... just because. Go to the military unit tomorrow, to the brigade, to all his idiot superiors, and tell them if you want.
Okay.
Vladimir
Zolkin channel. Watch, subscribe, share the videos. That's what they say, right? I don't want to talk to people who don't understand what's going on and live in their own comfortable world. That's the majority of them. Do you think so? Yes, I'm sure of it. Why? Well, because the majority of people in Russia live in their own world. They simply know that there's a war, but for them this war is the same as getting up in the morning and having a cup of coffee. So for them it has become so routine that they turn a blind eye to it. It doesn't matter to them if the war exists or not. As long as it doesn't affect them, they won't think about it, look into it, or worry. They simply won't care. So they know it exists, but, you know, it's like there's a country, and in the same way for them, the war exists. Like there's America, and America doesn't care about us. Similarly, this person doesn't care about America. The same goes for the war. What needs to be done for those who don't care? To reconsider their views and behavior. Just tell them the truth, and they will somehow... Because when they are told lies, it shapes their worldview. What they are told becomes the truth in their minds. Okay, but how can you tell them the truth when you have Skabeyeva and that other idiot, what's his name, Kisilev? They and all others keep saying that you have victory every day. They should take the initiative themselves, get information from alternative sources, like your TV channel Freedom, just watch it. A basic television channel that simply shows the truth, where they tell you that Russia is specifically losing when they say in Russia that we are winning. So basically we're given the whole direction up, but in Russia they say that we're withdrawing. They don't even say that we're withdrawing troops to preserve the personnel. They say that we're actually winning and advancing forward. They say that we have a ton of equipment there, new tanks like the T-90 Breakthrough, but in reality there's none of that. I didn't see a single one. Even though I was there for a week and a half, I still didn't see any tanks other than the T-80 or T-72. I'm not familiar with them, but I know that a T-90... Well, actually I did see one in Svatove. I was passing through the village and they were transporting it somewhere on a trailer, just one. But if I saw one tank, it doesn't mean that the entire front is filled with them. I don't think it's like that. Because if we had proper weaponry and leadership, everything would be different. These people, just like their superiors, they simply steal. Let's say that tank, they can just dismantle it and sell it to make money. Similarly, those who manage the storage of uniforms and weapons, they also sell all of it to other individuals, and those individuals resell it too. And through these three hands, they make enormous amounts of money, profiting from our death. People need to realize this. I can't say that they won't watch TV. They will still continue to do that. He switches channels. Oh, war. Interesting. I'll listen. He spends one evening listening after work, a second evening listening after work, and it becomes a routine for him that every evening after work he watches this television. And it zombifies him. He doesn't watch other channels, he can't go online. Not because he can't, but because he doesn't want to. It's easier for him to turn on the Russian TV channel, listen to what they're saying, rather than go online. Or find some channel on Telegram, let's say your Ukrainian one, and look at the events from your side. But he sees these events from our side, which are completely untrue. For example, there's the same channel Freedom on the internet. I understand it's freely accessible. You can also watch it live on the internet.
Anyone can watch it.
Anyone, even...
You've just rented a lot. Wow. You live... I may address you informally, right?
Yes.
I think I can. Do you live in a house or an apartment building?
In a private house.
In a private house?
Yes, in a village.
In a village. Have there already been any 200s or 300s in your village?
No, I can't say for sure, but in this region, within 100 kilometers, even not 100, but 50, yes, there were.
There were, right?
And there were captives too, who were returning.
There were captives?
Yes.
Do you think that if you were in captivity, your entire settlement would know tomorrow?
In a week, yes, not tomorrow, but in a week they will know. Everyone will know that you're in captivity. Yes, will this worry anyone? No, not at all. They will know that I'm a captive. They will, on the contrary, for them a captivity. What I'm saying here from a truthful perspective about our country, about all this provision, and everything I say, I consider it to be true. And when they will see that I'm in captivity, for them it will be enough that I'm in captivity just to get angry at you. This won't push them to think critically, not to watch your television channel, not to visit your forums to read, simply to spend a couple of hours once to get interested. And then they will continue to check, to watch, just to compare what their country says and what your country says. So they will understand what's true and what's not when they start using their heads a little. Well, it's elementary. When the news on TV shows that 500 planes were destroyed, but you only have 300. What 500 planes? And the same news shows the same thing every week, and people don't even realize they're watching the same thing. They know there are numbers, but they don't remember that these numbers are the same. Every week, these numbers are the same. They don't understand that they don't change. That's how it is. And you constantly show that a certain number of equipment is destroyed. We do too, but for us, these are all the same numbers. But for you, they are different, and they accumulate in the total count, and they constantly, how can I say it? Well, today, 1,000 people were destroyed. They were added to the total count. So it's not 160 anymore, but 161,000. And you say every day that 6 planes were destroyed, 9 planes. Yes, and they add them up in the same way, but I understand that you don't have that many planes. No, we don't. Well, there you go. You don't have them. Because if you had them, our situation would be even worse. I'm sure of that. If you were given the same weapons as us, I think you would clearly win. Because the whole world is helping you. And you're doing well. That's how it is. But if we were to give you... No, I won't say that we should give you our leadership. Because our leadership will be only our leadership. For you, it would only be harmful. That's how it is. We don't need your leadership. You don't need it. That's what I'm saying. I mean, I'm saying that you don't need it, but you need the opportunities. For example, we have more opportunities, but they are not distributed correctly, just like people. There are people scattered all over the front, but they don't know how to command them. Bodies are lying everywhere. That's why they lie there in the fields, because they are not properly commanded and ordered. They simply sent them and said, go and take those 500 meters. And there are 1,000 bodies for every 100 meters, do you understand? And you have a maximum of 5. And you don't advance. You advance when you know you can. Your command knows when to give that order, and it gives it then. But our command just says advance in any situation. It never says retreat. It says advance until you die. It doesn't say until you die, but it says advance. It's a World War II tactic. To pile, to throw caps with bodies. Exactly. Do you know where the expression to throw caps came from? No, I heard it here. Well, there's a term to throw meat, which means bodies. It's just obvious, yes? Well, that's World War II. And the expression to throw caps, I don't remember a year, but it was the Battle of Sevastopol, I think. I don't want to make mistake. Then, in Tsarist times, in the imperial era. Back then, they fought by coming out in boxes, and the battle was supposed to take place. I think the Swedes attacked. I don't remember, I need to look it up. So, anyway, they set up tents, like a banquet. Some Russian count said, we'll handle everything here. And the battle took place, and before the battle they were pouring champagne for everyone as if there would be victory. And this guy said, if something goes wrong, we'll throw caps at them, we have as many soldiers as we want. And then the ships arrived and destroyed the entire Russian army. Both the army on the shore and the one at sea. And that count fled. That's where the expression comes from. Well, it's because there's simply a quantity. You need to know how to command this quantity. Or not command, just send them like meat, go and die. Yes, I don't consider that a command, just saying advance. Just go and take it is not a command. It's not even supported by any plans. They just tell you, see that forestation? Go and take it. How you do it doesn't matter to us. What did they say? You received the task? How you accomplish it is not important to us. So our task was to take deforestation. How we do it doesn't matter to them. The command doesn't care. I mean, we understand that we need support, artillery, some evacuation, so that everything is coordinated and there is some plan. The command also understands this, but for them it's just a headache. So it's easier for them to say, go and take it. You will die, we will send new ones. You will advance 3-4 meters, we will send new ones. They will advance another 3-4 meters. And bit by bit, over the heads of your own, you will reach it and capture that forestation. You really rented from the heart. As tradition goes, prisoners of war squat 358 times. Ready? No, I won't be able to. Well, I'm just kidding. Prisoners of war address their fellow countrymen, friends, if they want to. If they don't want to, they don't. In my address, you can call all my video an address. Just watch. Get the correct information from third parties, not from the TV, but from third-party sources. The internet, Telegram, it's available to you, no one prohibits you, go and watch. There you will learn the whole truth, just try to think with your own head. And there's no need to go and fight against these people, because this war shouldn't exist, just like you shouldn't be in it. You have nothing to do here, just like me. If you're thinking of signing a contract and going, think again, because you'll just die. The fact that I ended up in captivity, I just got luckier than anyone else. That's what I'll say. Because those who I went on this mission with have probably already died. If you don't die today, you'll die tomorrow. And no one will send you back home if you survive the first mission and say that you won't go further. They can send you back like they did with those prisoners. So just think for yourselves, and there's no need to come here. Thank you. I want to point out that this guy is 20 years old, but he speaks more intelligently than many who are over 40. Those who can't put 2 words together, add up 3 numbers in their heads, and don't know history at all. So, good job. It's damn bad that you came here to fight, but overall your thoughts are right, bright and positive. Agreed. Agreed? Agreed that it's bad that I came here to fight. I shouldn't have come here. I thought you agreed about the thought. Well, about the thoughts too. It's from what I see myself, now with my own eyes. I understand. Well, now he'll say it again. Like, subscribe. Like, subscribe to the channel, share the video. When they exchange you, will you get in touch? Of course, if there will be an opportunity. You will have the opportunity. You'll have a phone at home and there will be internet. No problem. You'll find my contacts quickly. Well, then no problem. Unlike others, I think he'll get in touch. He'll ignore those police officers. The police will forbid you to. So what? He'll get in touch. That's what. So, you don't smoke? No. Are you satisfied? Well enough? Dude, what does well enough mean? Well, more yes than no. Yeah, satisfied, even without no. Well, at least your mom knows that you're alive. That's already a plus. It means it's not in vain.
Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe and consider becoming the member of this channel. You can also support my work on Buy Me a Coffee. All of this will help me grow on my team and bring you these dubs much more often. See you next time. Slava Ukraini!